There comes a point in life when you get tired, not physically, but mentally. Tired of overthinking. Tired of arguing with yourself. Tired of carrying invisible battles nobody else can see. For years, my mind felt like a war zone. Every morning started with pressure. Every night ended with noise. I was constantly fighting thoughts I didn't want. Regret. Fear. Doubt. Anxiety. I kept trying to fix my mind like it was broken. But the harder I fought, the louder it became. And that's the strange thing about the mind. What you resist often grows stronger. I thought peace would come when I finally controlled every thought. When I stopped feeling anxious. When I became stronger. More disciplined. More positive. But peace never came that way. Because I was fighting the wrong enemy. The truth is, my mind was never trying to destroy me. It was trying to protect me the only way it knew how. Every fearful thought came from survival. Every anxious scenario came from wanting safety. Every painful memory returned because a part of me was scared of being hurt again. Once I realized that, something changed. I stopped treating my mind like a monster. And for the first time in years, I listened to it instead of fighting it. That doesn't mean the negative thoughts disappeared overnight. They didn't. But I stopped panicking every time they showed up. I learned that thoughts are not commands. They are not prophecies. And they are definitely not identity. Just because your mind says you're not enough doesn't make it true. Just because your mind imagines failure doesn't mean failure is coming. Thoughts are temporary visitors. But I had spent years building them permanent homes. One day, I sat alone in silence and asked myself a simple question. What if I stopped trying to win against my mind? That question changed everything. Because all this time, I was exhausting myself trying to silence every emotion. Trying to become perfectly calm. Perfectly healed. Perfectly strong. But humans aren't built that way. We feel. We break. We overthink. We struggle. That's part of being alive. The real peace came when I stopped demanding perfection from myself. I began observing my thoughts instead of becoming them. When anxiety appeared, I no longer said, "I'm broken." I simply said, "I'm anxious right now." That small difference gave me distance from the storm. I also realized how much suffering came from trying to control things I couldn't control. Other people's opinions. The future. The past. Mistakes already made. My mind kept replaying old pain, hoping I could somehow rewrite it. But healing began the moment I accepted that some chapters cannot be changed, only understood. And slowly, life became quieter. Not because my mind became silent, but because I stopped arguing with every thought. I started taking walks without headphones. Sitting with my emotions instead of escaping them. Breathing through difficult moments instead of running from them. At first, it felt uncomfortable. We live in a world addicted to distraction. Phones. Noise. Endless scrolling. Anything to avoid being alone with ourselves. But eventually, I discovered something beautiful in the silence. Underneath all the chaos, there was still me. Not the fearful version. Not the anxious version. Not the overthinking version. Just me. And maybe that's what healing really is. Not becoming someone new, but returning to who you were before fear took over. I also learned that the mind becomes heavier when you carry everything alone. For a long time, I pretended I was okay. I smiled while drowning internally. But opening up changed me. The moment I admitted, I'm struggling, I stopped feeling trapped inside my own head. Sometimes strength is not pushing through silently. Sometimes strength is being honest. And here's something nobody tells you. Your mind listens to the way you speak to yourself. For years, I bullied myself with thoughts I would never say to another human being. You're weak. You're behind. You'll never change. Imagine hearing those words every day from someone else. You'd eventually collapse. So why do we accept that voice from ourselves? Healing started when compassion replaced criticism. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" I began asking, "What happened to me?" That question carries kindness. And kindness heals what punishment never could. Now don't get me wrong. I still have difficult days. Some mornings, the noise returns. Some nights, overthinking still knocks on the door. But now I know something important. I don't have to fight every thought to live a peaceful life. I can let thoughts pass like clouds. I can feel emotions without becoming controlled by them. I can experience fear without surrendering to it. That changed everything. Because peace is not the absence of mental noise. Peace is the ability to remain grounded while the noise exists. And if you're struggling right now, if your own mind feels heavy, I want you to hear this carefully. You are not failing because you overthink. You are not weak because your mind gets tired. And you are not broken because healing takes time. Sometimes the greatest transformation begins the moment you stop fighting yourself. Not every battle deserves your energy. Some thoughts don't need answers. Some emotions only need space. And sometimes, healing starts when you simply allow yourself to be human. The day I stopped fighting my mind was the day I finally started finding peace,